I'm going to start again because my microphone was muted. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am alone today. My associate coach, Leslie Myrick, is on vacation. So I'm doing this on my own today, the Profitable Interior Designer broadcast. So I'm Nancy Quinn. You guys know me. On the Thursdays, we always make sure we source a question from the Facebook group, the Interior Design Business Forum. So if you are already a member there's a post pinned to the top that would allow you to submit a question. So please go and do that if you have a question that you'd like us to answer on our Thursday broadcast. Right now, I'm going to make sure I share this into my group while I'm at the beginning and waiting for people to come on. And for some reason, this is not sharing on, let me share this. For some reason, this is not sharing on Instagram that I can tell. So I'm not sure exactly what is going on here, but we should be live in the group, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. So let's get started. So we have a question from Sarah. How do I outline responsibilities between myself and a contractor or a builder? Who purchases what items? So I have to tell you, this is a pretty big question that we always get. And I do not understand why we are not live on Instagram. So it's driving me a little crazy, but all right, we're going to keep going. Let me just check. It says I am live. If anyone's watching on Instagram, please make a comment and let me know, because it does not look like I'm live on this system. So I will figure that out. But in the meantime, if you're working with a contractor, often what happens is we have to figure out who's paying for what. And some design firms who are very well established will say that everything goes through my company. And some contractors may not like this. So what I find is that it really matters who comes on the job first. Were you brought on and hired first and interviewed contractors to help the client decide who to hire, who would be best? Or did the contractor come on first and bring you on? But either way, the bottom line is you have to have that conversation early with the contractor. Often before, if you're being brought on second and the client is asking you for a proposal, you have to find out who the contractor is and have a conversation with them to find out what they've already established with their procedures with the client. The client may be telling you, the contractor says they're purchasing everything, but you really need to speak to that contractor and find out yourself. Can I ask what arrangements you have made with the client? They have now brought me on, or they're interviewing me to bring me onto the project. They want assistance with selecting product. What product do you need me to spec out that you'll be purchasing? And what product would you expect me to be purchasing? And this is an important conversation. And as Leslie and I always say, early and often you have to talk about money. This is another topic that you have to talk about early with the contractor. If you were brought on first, often you can say, well, I would like to purchase the following things through my company, or I am going to be purchasing the following things through my company, but I'm going to expect you to purchase other things. So let me give you an example. Decorative lighting versus can lights. The can lights, the contractor can order. But if it's decorative lighting, you may want to order that yourself and get the margin on those. Also, decorative tile versus just countertops. The countertops have to be all measured out and spec'd out. Do you want responsibility for that as a design firm, or do you want to give that over to the contractor? I mean, everyone's responsible who's involved in the job, but you know what I mean. Is it running through your company or is it running through theirs? So here's what I'm suggesting. Number one, who gets hired first? You or the contractor? Often the person who gets hired first is the one who kind of takes the lead in the deciding who's doing the purchasing. That's number one. So you can say to a contractor, you're coming onto this job. I'm responsible for purchasing the following things through my company, but I expect you'll be purchasing the following things. Make it clear and make sure you outline it in an email after your conversation. So number one, if you're brought on first, You usually dictate the terms of the relationship and who will be purchasing what and when. If they come on first, often they have their procedure that you're falling into, which some designers don't like. They don't want to work with a contractor they've never worked with before, and then that would be a job you don't take. But if you take it, usually when the contractor comes on first, they will dictate a lot of who's purchasing what and, where they want to make their margin and where you can make your margin. Meet with the contractor or the builder early and discuss their process and procedures and combine them with yours. Come to an agreement and then make sure you take notes and follow up in writing. Okay. You want to make sure that you take notes and do this in an email. I don't have a particular contract that I recommend a designer have with a contractor, but I always do want to make sure all decisions that were made before you move forward with this job is documented in writing. Okay. So this is very important. You want to make sure, because if something goes wrong in the process, you want to make it clear whether it was your responsibility or their responsibility. It's a little bit of a cover your ass exercise, which I hate that you have to do, but you have to do it. Okay. So this is the process. And over again, I'll get these questions because it's different every time. Everyone's like, well, what's the standard? What's the standard? There's not a big standard when it comes to whether the interior designer takes the product and purchases on the client's behalf or whether the contractor. It literally seems different every single relationship. So keep that in mind. And if you're trying to put together a proposal, I'll often get the call like, well, I'm putting together a proposal, but I don't know how much it's going to be because I'm not sure whether I'm purchasing product for this job or not. I don't know what the contractor intends. So I always have to say, what were the discussions in the beginning? Did you have the discussion before you even quoted your pricing to your client? Did you discuss with the contractor who's responsible for what? If you didn't, then you are not quoting or doing your proposal accurately. It cannot be accurate because you don't have all the information you need to do a proposal. Okay, so this is very specific. Do not quote pricing when you have not had the conversation with the contractor or builder. If you're unsure, never guess. Guessing is never going to work in your benefit. Okay, so that's my advice for today. We do have a product called The Key. It helps you price jobs that you are the designer on, anything from design only, full service design, renovation, and new build. But it still requires you, it doesn't come up, it's not magical where it's going to say, well, the contractor is going to buy all of this and you're responsible for all of that, because it's different every time. You actually have to tell it, these are the things that I'm responsible for. This is the scope of my work. And transparency is, here's the scope of my work and here's how much it's going to cost. That's what transparency is. So you can't do that for your clients if you don't know the answers to the questions in the beginning. Okay, so make sure you never quote without talking to your contractor or builder first. And if you need help with pricing your construction jobs, your renovations, your new build, your full service design or design only, check out The Key, the designer's pricing tool that we developed. It's got spreadsheets, it's got a 1-hour training video to tell you how to price, and then it's got a spreadsheet for you to work out. It takes about 15 minutes, if you're maybe a half an hour, if you're using the original Key with the spreadsheets, which is really smart for you to do because you'll learn so much about how long it takes you to do things. But also now there's a Chat GPT companion where it takes maybe, Leslie says 5 minutes, I say 10, to price out any of your jobs, because you can talk to it like a regular human, and it's been programmed by me on how I want you to price your jobs. So I hope that helps someone today. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Go have a great day.